We begin tonight with the UN General Assembly. World leaders from 193 countries have descended on New York City for their annual meeting this week. In the morning, President Obama addressed the assembly and pushed for a UN Security Council resolution that enforces Syria's cooperation. However, Syria was not the only foreign policy issue on the president's agenda. He also addressed nuclear proliferation in Iran. To discuss more on the highlights coming out of the UN today, I'm joined now by RT's Anastasia Churkina, who is in New York following all of the developments. Anastasia, just a few hours ago, Rouhani addressed the UN General Assembly for the first time. Can you elaborate on some of the points that he made in his speech?
Well, Amira, this was the first time he addressed the United Nations General Assembly as Iran's president. Certainly for the last 8 years, we witnessed Mahmoud Ahmadinejad come to New York and kind of put on a show. Today was the first time in a while where we did not see Western and U.S. delegations walk out of the room as the Iranian president was making his address. Only the Israeli delegation left the hall. And some of the points he made, basically an important point was that Iran phobia, according to the Iranian president, is dangerous for world security. And he said that he believes that imagining Iran as a threat is just a plot of people's imaginations. He went on to say that Iran is in fact willing to prepared to cooperate with the United States. He said that Tehran has no interest in increasing tensions with the West, and he believes that if mutual respect is in place, the two countries should be able to work together. Interestingly, when he talked about Syria, he said that he does not believe that a military solution is possible and a good idea, and while condemning the use of chemical weapons in Syria, he said it's important to also, if that is the case, to condemn the use of drones to tackle terrorism. Take a listen.
Terrorism and the killing of innocent people represent the ultimate inhumanity of extremism and violence. Terrorism is a violent sport and knows no country or national borders. But the violence and extreme actions such as the use of drones against innocent people in the name of combating terrorism should also be condemned.
Well, despite fears from the United States and the West in terms of what kind of uranium enrichment program Tehran is carrying out, the Iranian president today did say that there is no place for nuclear weapons in Iran's political doctrine, and he said that it's in Iran's national interest to remove any such concerns.
Now, President Obama also took the stage earlier this morning where he addressed Iran. Is it clear at this point that the U.S. wants to engage Iran in negotiations?
Well, Amira, that certainly seems to be the case. We were expecting and waiting to hear whether or not Obama would be meeting with the Iranian president of the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. That is not going to be the case. We hear that the Obama administration did try to set up some kind of meeting, and according to the White House, this was not possible because Iran said it was too complicated at this particular point in time. But we have been seeing sort of more friendlier and warmer, I guess less tense behavior coming from both the United States and Iran. We do know that earlier today, Barack Obama did in fact say that the U.S. is willing to conduct dialogue and that the doors for dialogue remains open if Tehran is willing to walk through it. Take a listen to some details on that.
We should be able to achieve a resolution that respects the rights of the Iranian people while giving the world confidence that the Iranian program is peaceful. But to succeed, conciliatory words will have to be matched by actions that are transparent and verifiable. After all, it's the Iranian government's choices that have led to the comprehensive sanctions that are currently in place.
Well, we are expecting a meeting between John Kerry and his Iranian counterpart to take place throughout the week in a couple of days. So certainly we should be hearing more details on what to expect to come out of the latest on what's going on between Iran and the U.S.
And of course, Obama spent a good portion of his speech also talking about Syria. What was the main message underlying his statements there?
Well, Amira, Barack Obama really continued to push forward the U.S. position that a strong resolution needs to come out of the United Nations Security Council. We do know, of course, that the UN Security Council has been working round the clock to implement, to put together a text that would reflect Syria's agreement to put its chemical weapons under international control. However, something that remains to be a disagreement between the U.S. and Russia, the main negotiators on this resolution, is America's belief that the use of force should be kept as an option, kept open, if Assad's government does not comply fully with what is being negotiated. Russia, however, believes that the use of force should refrain from being put in this text language. So this is what we're expecting to really be clarified at the UN in the days to come. And of course, we do know that at the sidelines of the UN, also Sergei Lavrov has been meeting with John Kerry to discuss this in more detail earlier today.
That was RT correspondent Anastasia Churkina. Thank you.